Hi there and welcome again to the review section. Today we are going to review the newest addition to the FAQ family. This new FAQ is dedicated to modern vehicles, and though it's almost 500 pages, we will find a comprehensive compound of techniques, tools and examples. Let's check the inside. On the first pages, we find the credits and an introduction followed by the index. Here, we can clearly see that the book is divided into 5 big chapters with their subchapters. The Techniques chapter, for instance, hosts up to 12 chapters covering both building and weathering techniques. On the weathering chapter, we see the complete process of weathering of actual models. They are sorted in light vehicles, medium-sized vehicles, and heavy vehicles. Chapter 4 talks about the future of modeling and the use of 3D printing. And last but not least, we have a nice Chapter 5 with the gallery section in it. As we explained, the Techniques chapter starts with assembly techniques that cover all the techniques involved with the building of the models. It has subchapters for basic detailing, resin improvements, super detailing with photo etched, soldering, modifications, damage effects, additional armor, headlights and periscopes, interior, and engines. We also have the texture and anti-slip surfaces covered in this chapter. We can learn here how to produce them and the tools needed. The subchapter 3 inside the Techniques chapter, it is especially important and easy to understand. It explains how the weathering process works, and which are the different painting techniques involved in it. We can find here schemes of the order of the processes and explanations of the processes themselves. The subchapter 4 is dedicated to the techniques used to paint the base, camouflages, markings, and to the chipping fluids. On the camouflage chapter, we learn how to make different types of camouflages, how to mask correctly, and which colors can we use. We will find a useful tag indicating the tool needed, the general type and shape of the camo, and a specific real camouflage as an example. Water slide decals, dry transfers, and homemade decals are explained also here. As the chipping fluids are used nowadays in a growing number of techniques and finishes, had to be explained in this book. Extreme rust finishes and heavy weather models are some of the topics covered. Following this, the next 7 chapters cover some of the most used and well-known techniques nowadays. These are filters, washes, wear and tear using oils, chipping, rust effects, dust and mud, and wet effects. Of course, these are all important and worth to mention. That is why the book explains every technique using details step by step and displaying the materials needed. We can also see several base colors as examples of use with each technique. The accessories have a whole chapter dedicated in the book. This chapter covers the different choices of stowage and methods used in several types of vehicles. It also explains several techniques to make and work with canvas and nets, things that are more usual in modern vehicles. We now enter the third main chapter, the weathering. On the second chapter, we've seen the techniques of both assembly and painting processes. Now we focus on how they work with actual models in different scenarios. As we have explained before, this chapter is divided in light vehicles, medium-sized vehicles, and heavy vehicles, and it hosts the painting process of 14 models. Chapter 4 is dedicated to the future of modeling. It is a super interesting explanation of the 3D revolution. It explains exactly how the 3D modeling and printing works, explaining materials, machines, and processes. Finally, Chapter 5 is dedicated to a gallery of models that are going to inspire you for sure. Make sure to check out the book at akinteractive.com. Stay tuned for more, and happy modeling!